Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'll be texturing my katana using Substance Painter. This will be a part 4 and the final part of making my katana. If you want to see part 1 to 3, the links are in the description, so go check that out. Okay, let's get started then. So in the basic settings, I used PBR metallic roughness for the project template, and I used OpenGL for normal map format, and I kept everything else the same, so I didn't change anything else other than these two here. And also, to add your file, you want to put it here. So for this sword, I've already completed the baking process already. This is the baking icon to get to the baking process screen. So you click here and you get to this kind of page. So for the settings, I basically kept everything the same. The only thing I changed was I put anti-aliasing to 4 times 4. And also the baking time, the baking process depends on how detailed your model is. So the less polys you have, the less time it will take, and vice versa. For the start of this texturing, I'm gonna first start by making the cloth part of the katana. So these are the patterns on it. So the texture I'm gonna make is gonna be both for the katana cloth and the sheath cloth. So I'm gonna click on the katana cloth and I'm gonna add a fill layer. This is gonna be the base, so I'm gonna just call this one the base. Enter, and just gonna add a mask to it, and gonna make the color. So for the cloth part, I'm gonna make it a dark red. So around maybe this color here. So this is the number if you want this exact red. So I'm gonna click on the black mask, and then I'm gonna click on this icon here, which is the polygon fill. I'm gonna just highlight the entire UV unwrap on this screen here. Get out of this layer. So right now it's gonna look something like this. Right now there's literally no detail at all, so that's when we're gonna add more layers on top to make it a bit more detailed. So right now this is the base. I'm gonna add another fill, and this one's gonna be the dirt. So just to add a bit of grime to the cloth itself. So I'm gonna add this time I'm gonna add a bit matte mask. And with this one I'm gonna type in BNW spots 3. I'm gonna just add that, and it's gonna look something like this at the moment. I'm gonna show you how to change that in just a bit. So first I'm gonna change the colors. So I'll probably do a slight darker red on top, so maybe something like this, just a slight darker red than this one. And I'm gonna go into BNW spots and just play around with the settings a bit on the properties. So we go to tiling, and with the tiling you can't really see it much, but with the tiling you can kind of change the size of the spots. Let me make it a bit bigger so that you can see it better. You can just change the size. Also, it is because the colors are very similar. There's not much difference, but I'm gonna add a bit more so that you can see it more maybe. So with contrast, you can, if I increase the contrast, you can see more. But I'm gonna keep it a bit blurry because I think it looks better this way more. So I think this is fine. Scale just increases how much grime is on. This one just increases the size. So as you can see, when I when I do tiling, when I increase the tiling or decrease, this box here just gets bigger or smaller. Gonna just keep it this size. So for me, I think this is a bit fine. Oh yeah, I forgot to turn the roughness all the way down. I forgot to mention that. So for the base color, I just turned the roughness all the way down because I don't want there to be any shine on it because it's meant to be quite dirty. So now you can see the dirt a bit more. And now I'm gonna add one more fill layer. And this one I'm gonna call it the patterns. It's gonna just give it more detail again. And this one I'm gonna add another bitmap mask. And I'm gonna use weave 2. So I'm gonna click on this. And for this one I'm gonna change the color to a black. So I go into the weave map properties and I'm just gonna change the size a bit, so it's gonna look something like this. So right now I think this looks pretty decent, but I'm gonna make it blend in a bit more as well. So with the histogram position I can make it a bit lighter just to make it blend in a bit more. So right now it's a bit lighter than before. So before it was about in the middle, so it's a lot darker. But if I lower it a bit more, it just blends in more. So I think lowering it more just looks a bit better. This one doesn't really do much. So right now it looks pretty decent, I think. So it's gonna look something like this. Of course, you can add more detail to it if you want, but this is what I'm gonna do for now. So I'm gonna just scroll down and I'm going to put this all in. I'm gonna put this all into a file. Uh, where's the file button? Yeah, just press on group layers and you can just group all of these together. So I'm gonna just place all of them inside. Remember to put the base at the bottom, and anything else you want to put on top, you gotta do them in order. And I'm gonna call this dirty cloth, and I'm gonna make this a. I'm gonna create a smart material for this one. So as you can see, I got my smart material here. It looks quite nice. And now all I do is I go to the sheath cloth, and I'll just put this over here. And as you can see, the material went onto this part as well. I am now going to start texturing the the handle part of the sword. So for this handle part, I want to make it a gold color. So what I'm going to do first is add another fill layer, and I'm going to call this one base again. I'm just going to be repeating the process for the last one. I'll just call that base and add a black mask, and this time I'm gonna put the color as a kind of gold. So I'll probably play around with it a bit later, but for now I might put the color around here maybe. So this is, if you want this color, these are the numbers for it. And I'm also gonna click on material. I'm gonna click on metal and roughness. Let me just add this on right now. just so you can see. Let me click off, and I'm now gonna play around with the metallic and roughness of it. So the roughness, I'll probably put it around, probably close to the middle of maybe 1/4. So around here, I'll probably put it around here more. Let me move this up a bit more so you can see it. Never mind, it don't make a difference. So put the roughness around here, and I'll boost the metallic. I'd say around 70. I mean 0.7. I mean, so it looks shiny a bit. So it's gonna look something like this, and I'm gonna add the layers on top. So with this one, I'm going to add another bit mask, and this time I'm going to add grunge scratches dirty. This is the filter that I'm going to use for this one. So I'm gonna add that, and I'm gonna change this color to black. So right now it's gonna look something like that. It looks a bit dirtier. So this is what I'm looking for, and I'm gonna just play around with it a bit here, if I can. Yeah, I have to click on this. Forgot about that. Just increase the size or decrease it. Make it more visible. Probably. I'll probably keep it here, and probably play around with these parts. Increase the grunt scratch intensity as well. I think this is fine. I think this is fine. Maybe I can change it later, maybe not. And then I'm gonna add one more fill layer on top. And this one, I'm going to add grunge scratches. Fine. So I'm gonna add this one. So this one just has a few scratches on it. And this one I'm going to do probably a grayish color. And I'm going to balance it a bit more, so make sure it doesn't show as much. Tile it as well. It's not showing. Sharpen density. I don't know why it's not showing. I realized why it wasn't showing. I'd used a bit of a darker color, so now that I've changed it to white, I can see a bit more. So I'm gonna keep it at white for the time being, and maybe change the color a bit darker. Again, I clicking the wrong one. Go to tiling and probably possibly put it around this spot. I'm definitely gonna decrease the scratches amount, because that's just way too many scratches. Maybe around this much. Gonna, and I think I'll put the scratches around a bit, around this much. Yeah, around this. So I'm gonna put the scratches around here. I'm gonna just play around with it a bit more. So yeah, I'm gonna keep contrast to 0, and the balance is gonna be, that's a bit too much balance because I want the gold to show. So I'll keep it around 0.25. I might increase the scratch sharpen density. I'm gonna increase the sharp density a bit just to make the scratches stand out more. And this one I'm gonna just keep it the same. So right now it looks a bit more like it's been worn and used. And now I'm gonna change the color a bit for the scratch. So I'm gonna change it to more of a gray color. So maybe around this one. So this is the color I use for this color right here. So it's just a bit darker, just so it blends in more with the sword. It's with the handle itself. So this is what it looks like. So yeah, this is the handle finished, and I will again put this. I'm gonna group all of this together and just put it in the folder. I'm gonna call this gold 2 since I've already created one gold on here. This one was the prototype, so this one I tried first just to know how to do it first. So I'm gonna just call this one gold 2 and create a smart material. I'm gonna now add the gold material to some other parts of the sword as well. So I'm gonna go to the blade and go to smart material, scroll up, and just add the gold material to there. Add a black mask and just add gold material. So I'm gonna press this cube icon so I can just select the whole entire mesh. So just this part. And now I'm going to go to the cover. I'm gonna add a gold mesh here as well. Add another black mask, and this time I'm gonna have to do a bit manually. So I'm gonna have to just highlight the parts that I want to be gold. Yeah, I'm gonna just highlight these parts. Hopefully this is gonna be right. I might have to go over it again just to make sure. Yeah, and I think that should be fine. And now I'm gonna start texturing the rest of the sheath. So I've added the gold part. I'm gonna create the color here, so the sheath part here. So I'm gonna texture this part here of the sheath. So let me add a layer. And I call this the base again. Let me make a group as well, so I can just put it inside. So I'm gonna call this red part. Yeah, and I'm gonna add a mask to it, a black mask, just so that I know what the colors are gonna look like. So again, I have to highlight it again. So yeah, right now it's not showing because the colors are the color's still white. But let me change this to more of a red. I think this kind of red is fine. Yeah, I think this kind of red is gonna be fine. And now I'm gonna just highlight the rest of it as well. Yeah, this point I'm gonna just do this. And I'm gonna continue adding layers on this red part. So first I'm gonna add a bit mask, and I'm gonna add B and W grunge. Wait, no, BMW spots 2 You can add that, and this color is going to be a black color. Oh yeah, I forgot to add metal and roughness to this one. So with this one, I want it to be reflection but no shiny. So I think right now it's fine. Yeah, I want it to be no metallic. So roughness, a bit like reflection. So this is fine. So the base is fine. I'll go back to the fill layer, and this one's gonna be called dirt. Yeah, this is gonna be dirt, and I'm gonna just make it look a bit, change it a bit, maybe just fiddle with the thing. I think it was fine the way it was. So one is fine. Contrast. No, I'm gonna leave that scale. Yeah, I think all of this is fine the way it is. So I'm gonna just leave that, and then I'm gonna add a scratches to it. So I'm gonna call this scratch, and I'm gonna add another bitmap mask, and this time I'm gonna type in I'm gonna type in grunge scratch grunge scratch is fine. So I'm gonna just add this, just to add a bit of, just to add a bit more detail to it. So I'm gonna just leave it at white for the time being and change the color later. With this one, I'm gonna put the balance a bit down, and it's gonna just show a few scratches on it. Maybe tie a little bit, just so that. Yeah, I'm gonna just put it down a bit. Yeah, I think something like this would be fine. Yeah, something like that is fine. Decrease. I might decrease the size a bit. Yeah, so around here is fine, I think. Sharp intensity. Scratch them out. I think this is fine. Again, I'm going to change the color to a more grayish color. Maybe here. So you can see it slightly, but not as much. So this is fine. So I've completed the red part of the sheath. Actually, no, I have not. I need to fill. So this part is just going to be simple. So all I'm going to do is add a fill and black mask. And all I'm going to do is just cover this, make this black. Yeah, just make that black. Fill layer, just. Oh wait, yeah. I need to take that out. So this is gonna just be black, and I'm gonna just make it so that is not going to be that shiny either. So add a metal and roughness. Yeah, and I think a bit more roughness would be better. So maybe around here, so that it looks like an infinite loop inside, basically, but like actually it isn't. So it's a bit of a trick. And I think now that I've completed, the sheath is officially completed. Let me zoom in to show you guys more. So this is what it's gonna look like. On this side you see it better because of the lighting, but yeah, this is what it's gonna look like. And all that's left is now is just the blade. I will now start texturing the blade. So I'm gonna just click on blade, and just this time I'm gonna create the layer. I'm gonna create a layer. Take this out. Oh, wait, hold up. Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, actually I'm gonna just create the fill layer first, and then create the layer, just so it knows. And for this one, I'm gonna make it a bit more of a gray color. So maybe not too dark, but maybe around this amount of gray. So these are the numbers if you want to know if you want to use this color. I'm gonna click out, and I'm gonna just call this blade. And yeah, I'm gonna add a black mask to this, and just click on this. Just click on the blade. Where's the UV? So this is what it's gonna look like on the UV side of on the UV side. So now I'm gonna just add some details to it. So I'm gonna add a layer, and I'm gonna call this noise, and I'm gonna add a bitmap mask. And this time I'm gonna add blue noise fast. So I'm trying to highlight it, and I think it's gonna look more realistic. Oh yeah, let me just play around with the metal and roughness. I keep forgetting to do that. So let me turn the noise off. I think metal, I'm gonna increase it a bit because well, it is metallic. So maybe not too much, but I might put it at 0.5. And the roughness, I think the roughness I'll keep at 0.3. So I think this is fine for the blade. Now I'm gonna go back to the noise, and I'm gonna just play around with this a bit. So with the noise, I'm gonna just increase it. So something like this maybe. So from a distance you can't really see, but from close enough you can see quite well. And yeah, I'm gonna just play around with it a bit. So balance. Yeah, I'll probably keep all of the properties the same. And the color, I'm gonna make it probably blend a bit more, but not as much. So maybe something like this around. So it would be gray, but not as close to the base color. Let me call this base. So the noise part is completed. Just to add a bit more detail. I might actually change the noise a bit to just show. So something like this might be fine. And then for the detail part, I'm gonna just add another bitmap mask to the layer, and I'm gonna use grunge scratch fine. Scratches fine, just so that it looks like it's been worn and like used. Of course, it probably won't show as much because the sword is gonna be the sword is white. Also, if you click O and click on this, you can see just the scratches by itself what it's gonna look like. So that's a pretty unique tool they can use. So if you do Alt click, not on the filter part, on the mask part here, you can just see what the filter is gonna look like. So it might be a bit easier to see how the scratches are gonna look. Yeah. So I'm gonna just press M to show all the textures again. So if you press Alt click, you can isolate certain texture that you want to see, and you just press M to bring back all of the textures. So with this, you can't really see it much because it is a white color. I'm gonna probably make it more white just so it stands out more, not as much. And yeah, I think now that I've completed this part, I think I've officially completed completed the texturing of the blade. So look, I think this looks pretty decent now. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna try and make more videos from now on, more tutorial videos. So hope you guys keep watching this, and I'll see you in the next video.